Naughty Steppers, what's up? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel. And it's time for another opinion piece / discussion based video, the first in a short while, and what I am going to be talking about today, and also what I want to know from you guys, is whether the repost system on Soundcloud is ruining it. Over the past few years, I've seen it more and more with producers and consumers alike complaining about the repost system on SoundCloud, that it clogs up the app and makes it very, very difficult to find new music. If you don't know how it works, then essentially it's just like Twitter, where basically if you see something from a certain account that you like, then you can repost it to your own profile. But obviously, in SoundCloud's case, it's a song or an EP, an album, a playlist, whatever. But because it's on your profile, then obviously that also means that it's on the timelines of everyone that follows you. And when I first saw complaints about this, I was quite skeptical and against them, thinking mostly, how are underground producers going to get a better chance to share their work about and have it seen? But the more and more I've used SoundCloud and the more and more complaining I've seen about the repost system, I must say, the more I've kind of warmed to it. Not to say I have completely though, and that's why I'm asking this question today. As per with the discussion-based videos, gonna go for a couple of points for the motion and a couple against, before coming to some conclusions and possible solutions by the end to wrap this video up. Most importantly though, and as always, I want to know what you guys think on the matter, so once you've watched the video, definitely let me know what you think in the comments about whether reposting is ruining SoundCloud. And so, getting into the meat of this video, my first point in favour of the motion that reposting is ruining SoundCloud is that yeah, it does. My feed is constantly clogged up with stuff that I just don't want to listen to. Whether it's in terms of genre or quality, my timeline is stacked with stuff that I just wouldn't choose to spend time listening to if I knew how it was before I checked it out. I'm all for not enjoying a song because of taste. I mean, that's part and parcel of finding new music, but some of it just isn't of a style or standard that I would even contemplate checking out if I knew that beforehand. Anyone can repost anything and also any amount at any time, and this makes the process of finding music much longer and way more convoluted than it should be, and that's even from someone who loves it and does it for a job. Think about those who are casually listening or who want to find out the new tunes from their biggest artists, or anyone who's preparing for DJ sets and whatnot. There's currently no way on SoundCloud of finding out exactly who's posted on a certain day, and seeing as that's how it used to be, yeah, that kinda sucks. Secondly, in favour of the motion that reposting is ruining SoundCloud, it has also enabled repost chains and people even asking for reposts, which ruins the industry and scene in my opinion. The base level of reposting has evolved to the point where it's become monetized and commercialized, and that really shouldn't be the case. You now have things like repost trading and repost exchange that are set up entirely for giving your music exposure on a monetary basis. I mean, really think about whether that's okay and exactly what's going on here. I mean, people are getting big without their music actually being that great. And that isn't me saying I don't favour it on a taste level, it's about the production quality. Amateur stuff that's getting reposted by huge collectives and producers. And that isn't me getting at anyone starting out, everyone has to do it, but it's about putting in the work to get where the best are. And it really shouldn't be a readily available thing. And by the way, if you couple amateur music with a huge social media presence, then suddenly you get a superstar, and there are plenty of them out there. And that just doesn't seem right, does it? Switching things over, and my first point against the motion that reposting is ruining SoundCloud is that I must say there is a lot of music out there that I would never have known about unless someone had reposted it. A lot of which I really like, and some of it I even love, and I touched on this earlier, but it really does provide a great chance for people's stuff to be shared. If it is good, then someone can share it. And to my knowledge, that is the only music streaming site where that is possible. And even if someone does want to spend a few bucks to get it seen a bit more, then so what? I mean, sometimes the production quality just isn't enough for it to be seen, and you have to take that extra step. And it isn't only on a quality level, but on a genre level as well. I've naturally been introduced to loads of other kinds of music that I wouldn't have without reposting, essentially through the tastes of others. And I think it's very important with music, as with anything, to expand your experience of it and absorb as much as you can. You know, if you don't like it, then fair enough, but exposing yourself to new stuff, I think, is great. And secondly, against the motion that reposting is ruining SoundCloud, I think similar to the whole retweeting thing with Twitter, it connects the underground to the mainstream, and I think this just makes the scene way more inclusive. This I find to be very important with music, because that's what it should be about, the art itself, and there shouldn't be any kind of hierarchy in that regard. Reposting breaks down barriers between those just starting out and the elite, because anyone can just share and support anyone. When I see a huge artist share something from someone way smaller, I may not like that song, but it does make me happy knowing that there are those respecting and furthering the graft of those lesser known. I mean, end of the day, everyone had to start somewhere. Music is about bringing people together, and that's not just listening, but sharing it as well. Vital, in my opinion, to keeping any scene going. But in rounding up my thoughts here, the first thing that I want to know is whether there's any way around this. If you allow people to filter their stream and not show reposts, then many will do that, and less producers will get discovered. I think it's on some people not to repost as much. Maybe there should be a limit on how much one person can repost in a week. And that would hopefully mean only reposting if it's really worth it, and certainly not if they've been paid to do it, or for clout, or cause someone asked, which just defeats the purpose of the music being good and worthwhile. I mean, you may as well just release anything. Consumers should also try unfollowing a few accounts, which is difficult but definitely worth it. I mean, reposting doesn't look like it's going anywhere, so just unfollow those that repost loads. And if you're worried about missing out on their music, then likelihood is it'll be reposted somewhere by someone, and you'll just find out about it that way. Or that if it's good enough, it'll be included in my tracks of the week, and you will find it there. But nah, honestly, whether I think reposting is ruining SoundCloud, I would say yeah, to an extent. Not because it in itself is a bad thing, but because it has been completely abused more and more since it was introduced. It's now rarely about what actually sounds good, what people like, what's changing the game for people, and more about getting your name out there at whatever cost, and regardless of what the music sounds like. I have found some great stuff through reposting, but one, it happens so rarely, and two, the exact opposite happens so much that I honestly don't know who to trust anymore when it comes to reposting. You'd think you can count on these big producers when it comes to production quality, but apparently not. So yeah, I wouldn't say that reposting ruins SoundCloud in itself, but it has grown to as it's been exploited over the past couple of years. A shame considering the amount of good it can do, but that is where we are at right now, unfortunately. But in giving those closing thoughts, I pass the question off to you guys. Is reposting ruining SoundCloud for you? Get your views, thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're yet to, social media accounts in the description box down below, and lastly, if it's naughty, then you know guys, so be sure, as always, to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.